Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be going through a demo problem for countdown timer. Let me give you a quick overview about this problem. We are going to get user input for seconds. Then we are going to count down from that many number of seconds until 1. Finally, we are going to display the string ding multiple times. I hope all of you got a chance to launch idle editor to open alarm.py script file. The first thing which I'm going to do here is to call the input function call. Let me configure the prompt as how many seconds. I want to capture the return value of the input function call into a variable called start. Keep in mind that we should use the appropriate typecast function to convert the return value of the input function here, which is going to be of string type. The appropriate typecast function here would be integer, correct? That's because we are getting user input for seconds. What would happen when I run this particular line of code? The inner function call will get executed first, and you're going to replace that function call with the return value, which is going to be user input of string type. Then you're going to execute the outer function call, which is for the int typecast function. The return value of the int typecast function is going to get assigned into the variable called start here. Let me call the print function call to display start for now, and I'm going to run the current version of the program. Let me rearrange the output window so that we are able to take a look at the output window and the program here. I'm going to enter 3 as the user input. Looks like we're getting the correct output with the current version of the program. Now let's think about what sort of while loop we want to write for this particular problem. Going back to the steps that we need to follow, we need to initialize the loop condition variable. What do we want to initialize the loop condition variable with? That would be the user input, correct? Let's say that we want to retain the user input inside the variable start for some other purpose. I'm going to use a different variable called remaining, which I'm initializing to start. Then I'm going to start typing my while loop. What should be the Boolean expression for our while loop here? Think about what sort of change you're making through your while loop. You want to go from 5 to 1, correct? If you were thinking the correct Boolean expression would be remaining is greater than or equal to 1, then you had the correct thought process. After that, we simply want to display the value inside the variable remaining. Finally, we are going to go through step 2, which is about updating the loop condition variable to ensure that we are making progress towards turning your loop condition to become false. So your loop is supposed to run from 5 to 1. Clearly, you want to decrement the value of the loop condition variable, correct? So I'm going to say remaining minus equal to 1 to decrement the value by 1 for every iteration of the loop. Outside the while loop, I'm going to call the print function to display the string ding a few times. I'm going to do that by multiplying the string ding by an integer value of 10. How can I say this print function call is outside this while loop here? Observe that the print function call lines up with the while keyword in terms of level of indentation. Let's save the current version of the program and let's try to run it. Let me give user input as 3. Observe that we are getting 2 outputs for 3. That's because I did not remove the print function call from line 2. Other than that, the output of the program seems to be okay. There's just one slight problem. The program execution went by really fast, correct? Let's learn about the time module sleep function, which will enable us to sleep the program. Recall that we already covered the time module time function, which enables you to get the current time. I'm going to import the time module using the import space module style. If I use this particular import style, I'll have to use the format module name dot function call to call that particular function. So the time module sleep function is very straightforward. you are going to pass the argument, which is going to be the number of seconds for which you want to sleep. So let me pass 1 as the argument here. I'm going to save the program and let's try to run the program one more time. So if I give input as 3, observe that now the program is running slowly, and this is giving a realistic output for a countdown timer. Next thing which I want to do is I want to take the display which is counting down from 3 to 1 and change that to 3 seconds left. How can I do that? I have a couple of ways which will work. The first way is that I can pass another string as argument to the print function call, which just has the value as seconds left. The other way is that you need to typecast the integer variable here, which is remaining, into the string type, and then you can use the plus operator to concatenate those two strings. I'm going to leave the current version. Let me save the program and I'm going to run it one more time. Let's give the user input as 3. Looks like we're getting the correct output here. One final improvement that I want to make for this program will involve you to download an additional module. So please pause the lecture video here, go to iteration 1 code link, then you'll see that there is a beeper.py module. Left click on that, then right click on raw to download that particular module. You need to make sure that you download it to the same directory where you have your alarm.py script file. I cannot really show you the output when I change the program version to include the beeper module beep function. That's because I'm wearing a headset while recording this. I hope all of you have a fun time experimenting with the beeper module and seeing what it does. I'm going to call the beeper module beep function by passing 10 as the argument. So if I save the program and run it now, you're going to see some funny output when that program runs. Again, you cannot actually hear what will happen when I run the program. You'll get the output on your laptop in an appropriate way. I'll wrap up this video here. Between now and the next video, please make sure to launch Jupyter Notebook. You're going to use Jupyter Notebook for the remaining demos for today's lecture.